Hey everyone, this is Tom Savantry, a Premier Trust Advisor. So I wanted to do this quick video to give you a little introduction to the Legacy Lock product. It's a great platform to establish your estate plan. And unfortunately, there's just way too many people in this world who do not have their estate plan in place. And this platform is a really well-designed, very thorough and robust plan that I can help my clients establish that and do it in a simplistic and certainly inexpensive way. So I just wanted to give you a little preview of the site itself. So as you're looking on the screen here, obviously this is kind of what I would be walking you through to establish the estate plan. And obviously there's steps into it we'll go through. But overall, it's really done in a very logical and straightforward manner. So you see the 5 steps. Step 1 is an interview, which I would be doing with you, and filling in aspects of your estate plan. We would review it together, right? And then in that point, generate the documents. Obviously, this is contracts. So there's going to be documents that you'll eventually need to get signed and notarized for some of them. And then the third step is that once those are settled, we would print them out, right? Because obviously this is all going to be online, so we print them out, and I'd print them out on your behalf and send them to you. You would have to get those notarized and signed, and some need witnesses. And then those will be intact. They'll be in place. The fourth step, which is one that I think often gets missed, is related to a trust. And so as part of this package, you'll have a trust, living trust. And so the important thing is for assets that you own, you'll want to fund the trust. And that means basically assigning your assets to be owned by the trust. So without that, the trust itself has no really strong meaning or value. You have to assign it. So we'll go into that piece. And then obviously once everything gets signed and everything, you can upload documents in here. So let me just go through quickly. And so the interview is straightforward. This would be the first part of the process that, based on your information, I'll give you some information up front you need to think about and gather in prep for the meeting. But this meeting should take an hour, maybe hour 15 maximum. And really what we're going through is just gathering your information. So a lot of it is just your personal information, where you live, it's your family trust, things like your children, who's going to be the beneficiaries and trusts, and go through aspects of who else is going to be involved. So we just go down these navs, and there's a lot of definitions of here of like what's a trustee, what's a successor trustee. And so they've designed this in a way to give a lot of information of things that they would normally share in their consultation with their clients, but put it into here so you have this accessible for you whenever you need it. And so it's just setting up the stage of adding people who might be in your trust, whether it be guardians or trustees, whatever position you want people to be involved with your trust. We would add them in here, and then we can use them and select them as we start filling them out. So this really gets into really just going stepwise through this beneficiary selection. Who's going to be your trustee? And so we just go down the list here and we talk through them. And the beauty of it is, like, a lot of these here, you'll have for instance, if you want to know what a successor trustee committee is, you'll have information in here that explains it and using their pretty straightforward explanations. They don't get too into legalese and confusing. It's straightforward of what that role does and why it's important to consider it. And so all the question marks will have more details to it. And you're just going through these, whether it be a healthcare agent or like in here, and you can see there's some videos embedded in here. What is a healthcare power of attorney? And you watch these videos, which are very informative and straightforward. And you fill these things out, and then you can review them, right? And this is where you'll have access to all of the documents that get generated from your completion of the exercise and interview. So, I obviously went very quickly through that, but you get a sense of it's just basically fill in the blank, and this is what I would help you fill out. So once you go through the interview, we go to review the trust, and this is where the information input from the interview is used to create your revocable living trust or last will and testament. And you'll see them populate here. So if you look here, this is your revocable living trust. And once all that information in there, we can generate the document here, and it would show up here on the right here as a document you can open up and preserve. And over time, there might be cases you want to update these, depending on your situation. Maybe it's somebody you put in here as a trustee that you no longer want, you to replace. You can always come back here and make the changes, and you'll see some of the history of them here. But this is what creates the documents, and you'll have them all here. Your last will and testament, right? Explains what it is. Financial power of attorney. So they're all included in here and generated automatically based on the answers provided during the interview. So that's part 2 of it. We're reviewing it. So then once that's settled and you feel good about what is in your estate plan, we would print it and send that to you, hard copy with instructions as to getting it signed and who needs to sign it. And so that will be on your end to fulfill that, to get the contracts in place. But then we would come back and meet again for step 4 to fund the trust. And this is where we talked about the importance of doing this, because the trust is, and here's the example of it's a vault. And so, but if you don't put anything in the vault, the trust really has little to no value. So here an example, your house, your IRA, any asset you have need to be funded to the trust. And so that has to be done after you get your estate plan in place. And so what this does is the Legacy Lock has a instruction. So whether it's a real estate asset or all other assets. So if you go to all other assets, let's start there. What will be in here, and this is what I'll help you do, is depending on what it is, whether it's checking and savings accounts, cars, life insurance, whatever it is, pensions, retirement accounts. What there's in here are instructions on how to do that, how to fund your trust. And so they'll have the instructions here for us to review, and then you just have to file suit to transfer the ownership to the trust in your name, and so you can include the stuff in here. So depending on what you have, we'll go through here and look at the instruction. So for businesses, what does it mean if you have a sole proprietorship? What does that mean? What do you have to do if you have a corporation? So the instructions are all in here, and the best part is that we are able to potentially ask Legacy Lock if there are some unique circumstances that maybe are not clear, or maybe have a state specific item that we want to address. But by and large, the vast majority of information can be found in these instructions to fund the trust. So once you've funded a trust, which then the living trust will be functional now because there are assets tied to it. But the beauty of all this too is that a lot of the documents that you've created, all your estate plan is included in here, centrally located. So you can always come back and get them. They're all in here, and if you want to give access to people who are on your estate plan, it's a great place too, right? They can come here if something were to happen. They can come get your powers of attorney or anything that you authorize them to get. So this is a great place, and you can put any other document you want. You can just upload a document and choose the file and add it here, whether it be life insurance policies or your auto insurance documents, whatever you want. You can kind of house in one spot. And the great thing is that you can also update these for a small fee every year. You can go in if something changes, you have a new child, for instance, and you want to change the beneficiaries on your estate plan, this is where you'd go do it. And if you pay that annual fee, it's less than $100, you can update any document you want and print them out and get them signed again, and now your estate plan is updated. So this gives you great access and sort of ability to make changes as things change, because we know that will happen. So that in itself is the core little sort of summary of Legacy Lock. Fairly straightforward. Done a really good job of putting together a comprehensive estate plan for the vast majority of cases, and so I would highly encourage you to get this in place, because as you go through a lot of the videos, I forgot to go through here that the videos and FAQs in here, that you have access to videos to go through what is a living will, what is a pour-over will, so you can learn about these various aspects of estate plan and some of the more common questions that may come up in the course of creating your plan. They have little question and answer sort of things available for you to continue your learning and understanding of what's in your estate plan. So I hope this was helpful. Certainly reach out with any questions, and I'm certainly more than happy to help walk you through this and see how it could really be a big benefit to you and your family as you're thinking about estate planning and getting those things in order, and recognizing that everybody does have a estate plan in place. It's either your plan or the government's plan. Which one would you rather have? And so we'd love to help you and move forward with that with you and put that in place. Again, Tom Savant, your Premier Trust Advisors, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.